Welcome back to the ESPT training. This is Module 6, where we will focus on managing entomological data. Let's dive in. By the end of Module 6, you should be able to prepare for field and laboratory entomological data collection and identify best practices for data entry, cleaning, and management. Let us take a quick look at our checklist to make sure we are all prepared for this training module. Please have an individual copy of the ESPT in front of you, either in digital or paper form. Please also have a notepad and writing utensil or computer in front of you in order to participate in participant exercises and take any notes that you wish to. Lastly, we recommend listening to the voiceover in English if appropriate, and to do so, you may require audio earphones, functional speakers, and a stable internet connection. To start, let's see where we are in the ESPT navigation tree. As you can see on the right, now that we have gone through modules 1 through 5, we are directed to iterate the process as needed until a feasible plan for entomological data collection is formulated. Module 6 is a short 2-page module that provides basic step-by-step guidance on how to prepare for and manage entomological data collection. Module 6 is divided into 2 short sections: how to prepare for entomological data collection and data management best practices, including data entry, cleaning, and storage. Module 6 of the ESPT uses 2 examples to help illustrate the basic steps of entomological data collection: one field example and one lab example. Please review these examples in more detail when you have a moment. Let us begin with the first section on preparing for entomological data collection. Before collecting entomological data in either the field or the laboratory, the appropriate data collection forms must be created. Module 6 of the ESPT outlines 3 key steps for creating appropriate data collection forms. We will review each of these steps in more detail over the coming slides. Step 1 is to identify required data collection forms. For each field or lab activity, there must be an associated form to record data generated by the activity in a standardized way. Data collection forms can be paper, electronic, or Excel-based, whatever format works best and is available in your setting. For example, for conducting an insecticide susceptibility test, there must be corresponding insecticide susceptibility data collection form that needs to be filled out during the test. Think through all of your planned entomological field and laboratory activities and establish a list of the data collection forms that your team will need. Step 2 is to adapt pre-existing forms to your specific planned activities. This step is meant to leverage the many data collection forms that have already been developed by organizations like the World Health Organization, the US CDC, PMI, and other resource platforms, including the ESPT itself. And while these pre-existing forms or templates provide excellent examples, they may not be adapted or well suited to your specific activities or data collection needs. Therefore, it's very important to adapt these forms to your planned activities to ensure that you are collecting the appropriate data to answer your priority program question. The ESPT provides an example human behavior observation, or HBO, data collection form in Annex 4. You can start with this template, for example, and then adapt it to capture exactly what data your program needs to measure. How might a program want to adapt a form? Here is the example HBO form I just mentioned. To quickly orient you to the form, at the top there are fields to collect site-specific information and collection date and location details. Then in the table itself, the column on the left is the hour of observation, followed by the name of the observer, the location inside or outside, and the number of people in each of the 4 defined categories at the end of the collection hour. You can adapt this form based on the specifics of your planned human behavior observation activities. For example, you may want to add or delete the hour of observation rows to match to your earlier or later hours of collection. Or you may want to add columns to the table to look at hammock net use if that is common in your area. Each data collection form is made up of column headers to ensure the appropriate data is collected in a standardized way. For each form, it is critical to establish a data dictionary that describes precisely the type of data that belongs under each column header. The data dictionary for the example HBO form is provided in Annex 4, right below the form. Now that we have discussed how to prepare for entomological data collection, we will move to the second section of Module 6 on data management. This is another short section and it outlines best practices for data entry, cleaning, and storage. Entomological data must be digitized in a database if they were originally collected in paper forms. This enables further data processing and subsequent analysis. During and after this process, data are cleaned and checked for quality. This is done by validating that data are within specified ranges according to the data dictionary, checking for errors and missing values, and ensuring that formatting is standardized across data entries. Let's look at an example of data cleaning. Data cleaning involves turning all data entries into entries that can be used for analysis. This table presents from an HLC collection. When we start to review the data entries column by column, we find that there are some suspicious and unclear figures as well as some empty cells. For example, the YN entry under the rain column in row 4 appears to be incorrect compared to the other entries. And when scanning the temperature column, one entry 300 appears to be out of place and it is likely a mistake. If you find data that seem odd or incorrectly entered, be sure to verify this data, which you can do by checking the original paper form filled out by the data collector, for example. And we can see several empty cells, which should never be the case. No cells should ever be left empty. If the cell is empty, you need to determine if this is because the person entering the data simply forgot to enter that data point, or if it is because no data was originally entered by the data collector in the field, or actual missing data. It is important to ensure that all data points are entered in the same standardized format across all the data entries. Our final topic in Module 6 is data storage. Electronic data forms should be securely stored in a database, and the databases should only be accessible to relevant individuals on the team. It is important to keep and maintain historical entomological data from past activities, and databases allow for this accumulation and storage of data. Great, you have now completed Module 6 of Unit 2. At this stage, you should be able to 1. Formulate your program question, 2. Use your program question to guide the selection of indicators to address this question, 3. Select sampling and analysis method including human behavior and HRP surveys to better describe vector human contact points. 4. Identify the survey type and site type that is most appropriate for your priority program question. 5. Design a sampling plan for operational entomological collections. And 6. Prepare for entomological data collection and data management. Next up are modules 7 through 9 of Unit 3. In these modules, we will see how to use the ESPT's decision trees. We invite you to proceed to this training module now. On behalf of UCSF's Malaria Elimination Initiative, thank you for listening, and we hope that this was a productive session.